Hey, what's up with it, Hood News peeps? It's your girl Grizzy live here with the Hood News. This Charger that you guys see here was shot at just a few days ago. This is the car I've been telling you guys yesterday about on the live video.
Were you guys in the car when this happened? Were you the driver?
Yeah, I was the driver. I was in the back.
So we're gonna be there's a press conference right now that's underway, but look at the car, how many times it got shot at, and the person that shot at this vehicle, no charges have been filed. This kid was going to like a party.
Come on, Brashon, y'all.
And somebody from their driveway started shooting at the car. So we're out here and we're going to get to hear more about this incident. I think some neighbors are also coming out. Hi, sir. How are you? Oh, that's what's up. Yes. Here's the other one. So we're about to hear from a local activist. And we're in Spring, Texas. No charges were filed on the person that shot from their driveway. Here comes Candace. So a young man was coming through this street when somebody was started shooting at him. They shot the car up several times, and then he went back around because he wasn't aware of what was happening, right? And when he went around the cul-de-sac and came back out, they shot at his car on the other side. All right. So he's bringing the car right now, and can you imagine like the fear this kid's gonna feel, you know, like coming back this way where his car was shot at? So yeah, we're in Spring, Texas, folks. It's your girl Grizzy live here with the Hood News. Look, so there's some shot right there. That's one. And then the other shots fired right there. You see them? And in a little bit, I'm going to mic up. And I'm going to need you guys to let me know if you guys can hear. I know you guys can hear right now. But I'm going to plug in the mic. And I wanted to start the video like at this time because that way you guys can have a little bit of background about what's going on and why we're here. See, look at those 3 shots fired at the car on that side. 1 on one side and 3 on the other. That's Dad. He's also a peep. He's a Hood News peep too. And there was also a bullet in one of the tires. All right, so I'm about to mic up. You guys let me know if you guys can hear. You take this
Don't
one.
get in these yards, stand on the sidewalk. Do not get in this yard. Yes, stand on the sidewalk.
Hey, y'all. Hey, can we all get out of his driveway?
Yeah, I just told him the same thing. Get out of his driveway. Don't block his driveway. Come over here.
Oh, this is where it happened, right here? Oh, so we're standing in front of the house where the shots were fired.
Yeah, come out of his driveway. Don't stand on his yard. Don't stand on his grass. Don't block the driveway.
Thinking you're gonna get sick or you want to go off?
How my boy doing?
They just might move it though. Like different people might
Okay, I got you. Okay.
All right, so we're about to start shortly, folks. It's your girl Grizzy live here in Spring, Texas. What's the name of the street, y'all?
Sugar Valley.
Sugar Valley. We're on Sugar Valley, the 2500 block of Sugar Valley. 2500 block of Sugar Valley. Or, correction, 25,000 block. So how are we going to do? All right. Just so you guys can see.
I need you three young men over here with me.
Hey, baby, when did it happen? When? Friday? Okay, this happened Friday night.
Yeah, I'm not done that song with y'all. Y'all must like that. Come up closer. Come up this way. I need the family up here too, and the young men up here. I'm gonna get it. Ready when you all are.
Testing 1 2 3.
All right, can you guys hear?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Can you check if that mic's on again?
It may not be powered up. Yeah.
Is it dead or anything? Oh, red.
It may
Yeah,
be
I can
dead
hear.
zone. Okay.
Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
This one works now too. For some
Okay,
reason.
good. Test.
Testing.
Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your patience. We have come here today absolutely outraged at what we believe is a hate crime. We believe that this neighbor took it upon himself to see some young African-American men in his neighborhood, in his cul-de-sac, and he obviously thought in his mind that he had a justifiable right to shoot at their vehicle and shoot at them. They were not committing crimes. These three beautiful young men are not drug dealers. They're not thugs. They're not carjackers. The young man that's driving the vehicle is a college student, never been in trouble. So why would this man think it's okay, it's all right to see some young African-American men that he obviously did not want in his neighborhood and fire into their vehicle? They were only looking for a place to park to attend the party. But obviously this is a neighborhood that this one particular white man has decided that young black men should not be in. And obviously he believes that the use of deadly force is necessary to keep them out. We're demanding that the Harris County Sheriff's Department and the District Attorney's Office here in Harris County file immediate charges against this man because he could have killed all three of those boys. We brought the vehicle for you to look at to see the bullet holes. We bought the tire that still has a bullet in it for you to look at it, because this man decided 3 young black men should not be in this neighborhood, and he shot into their vehicle multiple times, and the lazy, coward, pathetic officer that responded to the call did not do his job. Why is it when that young man and the other young men in the vehicle pointed out the shooter, they did not bag his hands and test his hands for gunpowder residue, like you do common black criminals in Harris County and brown criminals in Harris County when you expect them of using a firearm every day, all day? But why is it this white man was shown white privilege that he could do what he did, and the cop gave him a pat on the shoulder and say, we'll call you and talk to you later? He should have been charged and arrested on the spot. He could have killed one of these young men. Where's that young man who was driving? Come up here, brother. Just the young man who was driving. Just stay with him when you drove in here, brother.
Man, I was just looking for a parking spot. Come down. I hear one shot. I thought it was just a tire. I already had a bad tire on my car. I come around again, and I just hear shots. Just try to get out of the area.
So you didn't actually see someone shoot into the car?
No, well, I did. He was standing right here behind his, under his light. I couldn't really define what he looked like, but I knew he had the hat on, shorts and pants. I seen him shooting at the vehicle, and then that was it.
And he had a gun in his
He
hand?
had a gun in his hand, aiming at the car.
And the neighbor who lives here, you said you couldn't see his face well. How do you know it's definitely him that was the shooter?
Because obviously, after doing, looking over, he had the same exact hat on. Like, everybody showing me the pictures of what he looked like, and he has the same exact hat on when I seen him aiming the gun.
So we talked to Constable Precinct 4, and they said that officers that night were told that no one saw that guy with a gun. So do we know why that was the case?
I even told the officer that I did see him with the gun aiming it towards the vehicle while I was driving by.
You told the officer that night?
Yes, I told him
Okay.
that night.
And shell casings was picked up in the scene, so officers had shell casings. So I don't understand why those guys would make that kind of false statement. My son, he clearly identified the guy, and the officer clearly asked him, "Are you 100% sure?" My son said, "That's the guy." And he's like, "Well, are you 100% sure?" Then my son's like, "Well, it's dark, but that's the guy. We want justice."
And he was standing under a light. He was standing under a light. Are you referring to Constable Mark Herman? Let me say this to Mark Herman. You must think we're a damn fool, because you want us to believe that shell casings are on the ground in front of the house. You have a young man saying he's the one that shot at me, but you don't test his hands for gunpowder residue? It'd have been a simple test. Let me test your hands and your clothing for gunpowder residue. Then we know who fired the shots. The shell casings are on your property. You want us to believe, Mark Herman, that had there been a black man shooting some young white boys, and there's shell casings on the ground, and they identify him, that's all you're going to do is question and say, "Are you sure? You sure?" Everybody go home. You're a liar, man. We know better than that. We want the same treatment given to this beautiful black family and these beautiful young black men that you've given to the privilege of this white man. We have witnessed young African-American men go to somebody's house just to ring the doorbell and they're gunned down. We have witnessed white men not wanting black men in the neighborhood. They see young African-American men and they start shooting and firing at them. If Mark Herman don't want a major protest in this neighborhood, do your job. Because we're not going to accept this. It's wrong. All he had to do was go up to the man. "Young man, you saw him under the light with that hat on? Okay, no problem. Shell casings are right where you say there they were. Oh, he lives here? Let's test his hands. Let's test his clothing. Get a crime scene van out here. One of these young boys could have been killed."
And just to reiterate, sorry, so you guys, when the shots were fired, you were driving by, or your car was in a parked spot? Right? Driving by. So, from your perspective right now, he said that he only saw the hat. It was the hat and the glasses. It was dark out. Why do you think it was a white and black situation? Is it possible that just like he didn't see his face, that the man may have not seen who was in the car?
Let me break down why it's a white-black situation. The young man said, yeah, he saw his face. He said to you earlier he was standing under what, people? Light. He saw his face. That's one. We're talking about the white privilege that the cops extended to him. We do not believe, had the roles been reversed and the children been white and the shooter been black, that he would have just been told, "Okay, sir, you can go home. We don't know who did what." When the shell casings are in your driveway, right there under the light where they said they saw him, you don't test nobody's hands or clothing for gunpowder residue. It ain't like these are young men that they were on probation or on parole. These are young men with criminal histories. They don't have that. These were good young boys. This man totally stepped over the line. He could have killed these kids.
Was there any altercation? Did he say anything to you guys, or did you hear him scream or anything? Or shout?
We didn't hear nothing. We just drove down the road, and then after we drove from the road, we just seen gunshots, and that was it. After we turned from the cul-de-sac, that's when he started to let the rest of the clip go, and then we just parked at the end of the road, and that was it.
Do you think that he targeted you guys, or do you think that he was just shooting at a car that drove by?
He could be shooting at the car or targeted us. All I know, we just came down the road, and he let off one shot. Once we turned around the cul-de-sac, that's when he shot the rest, and then we just parked the car, and that was the end of it.
So you drove this way, fired one shot,
And then when he turned around, he was just letting the rest go, letting the rest of the clip go.
And at the time, y'all didn't know what was
We
happening.
didn't know what was happening. We just got to the party. When I said we turned around, he just let all the bullets go.
How many people were in the vehicle?
Just 3.
Wow, somebody could have got hit.
So let's talk about the context of what happened. Okay, it was a party down here. And this is not the first time there's been a party in this neighborhood. Okay, so this is the party. You see multiple black African Americans, parking along the street. So just to say a homeowner said, you know what, I'm upset that these guys are parking down my street. So the next car, I'm going to fire at that car because, it could be whoever. We don't know the reason. We don't want to make this a white versus black. We want to make this a right versus wrong thing. And the right thing was that they should have charged this guy. The wrong thing was this guy had no reason to shoot at that car with my son, and that was attempted murder. He fired shots to one side of the car. He waited till that car come around again, and he unloaded the clip from the front of the car to the back of the car. And as they was going, he shot again at the back of the car. He was trying to kill my son and my nephews. We want justice. We want justice immediately.
Right now, the sheriff's office, the precinct 4, they said they interviewed the man and it's under investigation. I know you had mentioned what you would have liked seen done. Right now, again, he's saying this is under investigation. They collected the shell casings. What do you wish they did differently?
I would, as a father, because my 2 sons is in the car, I want the man locked up. Period.com. He could have killed my kids. So something needs to be done. If like the reverse, if there was a black man went to jail. Come on, we already know that. Straight up. It was black, reverse, so that's why we make it black and white. If it was a black man with a shot, he would have been in jail. A white man shot, he's free. So that's all we saying. We don't know who he know was in the car. He shouldn't have did that. Justice needs to be served immediately.
But one thing we do know, when the boy said that's the man that shot at us, and they find the shell casings exactly at this house where the young man said he was standing under the light. They did no gunpowder residue check on his hands, and they did not say, well, let us take your fingerprints, sir. Since we found shell casings, let us see, are these the fingerprints on these shell casings? Because if you got the shell casings, you're going to fingerprint them. But you didn't fingerprint him. So how do you draw a conclusion for a fact who those casings belong to? This is what pisses me off. Did they say to the man, do you own a gun? How many guns do you own? Can you bring the gun out? Let us look at it. They could have took the gun out, counted the bullets in the chamber, and smelt the chamber to see if it had recently been fired. And they could have said to him, sir, will you voluntarily turn over your weapon that we may test this weapon also to see if it had been fired, if it matched these shell cases of this gun right here? They didn't do none of that. So what else are we to expect that this is a privilege? It's wrong. Where was the due diligence done for 3 college students? These are good boys. That man shot in that car multiple times. For what?
As far as you guys know, have you seen any surveillance footage of anything?
No, that's one thing. I want to make a plea to the community because, if you look, if he's shooting reckless like he's shooting, what could say that those bullets wouldn't have ran into that house over there,
That's right,
and hit someone that was sleeping in that house? What if a bullet would hit that house as he was shooting, and hit one of those kids in there? Then we would have a whole totally different situation. So I'm making a plea to this community. Turn over all your video that you have to the authority. Help us solve this case because a reckless guy shooting in this neighborhood is not only a threat to us, but it's a threat to them as well. So we want to make sure those guys are helping us out with this case. Don't let this just go unsolved or unnoticed, or because it happened to us. Tomorrow it can happen to you guys.
And then also, we want to say this. we're asking Mark Herman to let us witness the body cam video of their conversation with this man. We want to see the conversation from the body cam video of the deputies discussing this situation, this incident, with the homeowner and with the young men.
How many bullets were in the car around?
Well, I counted like nine bullets, that's in the car.
It's overkill.
You got one, like I said, one on the driver's side. Okay, as he was coming this way, one fired on the driver's side. My son said, "Daddy, I just know I heard a pop and it's very close." So as he hit the cul-de-sac and coming back, it got one bullet in the front fender. You can see a bullet ricocheted to the front glass. My nephew was sitting in that front seat. What if that bullet would have came through that front seat? My nephew probably would have died instantly. Then you continually have both tires shot out. That's 2 more bullets. Okay, we still have a bullet in one of the tires over there. Then you got 3 bullets on the side of the doors. Okay, if you look at the back of the car, it's another bullet hole in the back of the car. So this guy he's a maniac. This guy, he was trying to, this is attempted murder. This is not just, hey, I'm just going to shoot and scare. I want to kill these guys. I want to make sure these guys never come back in this neighborhood again. I want to make sure these guys never breathe another breath. I thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that my son, he was able to call me and say, "Dad, I got shot." I said, "Son, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was happy just for him to say I'm okay. The car can be replaced. We want this guy to be held accountable, though.
Dr.
What's your message to him if he watches this tonight?
When he watches tonight, turn yourself in, man. Turn yourself in. We know you was at home alone. We know your wife was in Las Vegas. You was here by yourself. Turn yourself in, man. Do what's right. Do what's right. We know who you are. We know who you are. We know your wife was in Las Vegas and you was here by yourself. Turn yourself in and do what's right by my son.
Well, Dr. Candace Matthews, National Minister of Politics for the New Black Panther Nation, and this egregious act that has transpired with our young African American males and also with their families. Look, let's just be clear. It is not okay to just be throwing off rounds in a neighborhood for no apparent reason. That's not okay. It's not okay to come out and try to, literally, if you look at those casings, it shows exactly the attempt of what was done. That is not okay at all to do that. And so the reason why we say that this is a hate crime is because the way that it was done to African American boys. Okay? And then also even the process of how it went down, it shows that his complexion was his protection. Because what happens is that when you have a crime scene, okay, there are processes that law enforcement has to follow. You don't just do one portion of it and then stop and then come back up and say, we're going to have an investigation again. That's not how that works. All of that was supposed to have been done that night, and it was not. So if that was an African-American male that did the same thing as this man did, then we would have had a whole totally different outcome. And then just like the father said, I definitely agree with that. You just cannot come out and just unload and use deadly force on someone for no reason, and then that bullet can hit someone else that's here in this neighborhood. I definitely agree with that, because the only time that deadly force is supposed to be used is when someone is coming into your home and trying to rob, steal, or kill when they come into your home. Because we do have a stand your ground law in Texas. Stand your ground law does not mean if somebody just drove in your yard, backed out, trying to find a park, for you just to let load and let loose all of your ammunition. And 9 rounds, that's not okay.
That's right.
Absolutely not. That is not something, you don't do warning shots. You don't do none of that. Even when we have 4th of July, they tell you not to shoot your guns in the air, because when you shoot your guns in the air, that can turn around and hit someone too. So clearly this man, what he's done is very dangerous. It was very irresponsible. And then at the same time, you put our 3 young men and their families in danger. Because I'm a mother. I would not want to hear, if I let my kids go to a party, for me to see or hear that the car that I have for my children have gunshots in it. Like, you don't send your kids to get shot at. When your kids go out, you send them so they can be safe, follow the rules, follow what everything that law enforcement asks for them to do. Not for them to just be shot just because of the color of their skin, or because you don't want them in the neighborhood. That's not okay.
So you guys, you're wanting attempted murder charges. Are you also wanting hate crime charges as well?
What we want is the DA's office to investigate it. That's what we want. And that's why we want to see what the body cam video is. Because we can tell his conversation with them and theirs with him. But we absolutely believe that it should be investigated. It should be looked at thoroughly. Our problem with this, we have never seen cases like this, where the roles are reversed. No gunpowder check on his hands. You don't actually see the man's firearms. You don't even check those firearms. You pick up some casings off the ground, but you don't take his fingerprints. That's not an investigation. That's a joke. And he shot in that car that many times. It's only by God's grace
That they still here.
that one of those boys didn't die. If all of them didn't die,
You're supposed to follow the process.
that's a problem. We got a problem with that.
Process
We got a
is
problem
supposed
with
to be
that.
followed.
And due process has not been accorded to these kids and their families. We want all aspects of this case. Hate crime as well, investigated. Yes.
Absolutely.
I know the driver was 19. How old were the other two?
20, both of them are 20.
19,
2 20-year-olds and a 19-year-old.
Can we hear from one of their perspectives, just from start to finish?
Well, the young man did talk. The other one did talk. The tall one in the red shirt.
Okay.
He already spoke.
The two of the three spoke. Yeah, 2 of the 3 spoke. Yes. Oh, hold on, wait. She said what?
She wants to talk.
We got a witness.
Oh, you saw him under the light?
We have a witness. This lady is saying that she saw him underneath the light.
Wow. Okay. Did y'all hear what she said, y'all?
Karen, are you rolling?
Yeah.
Grizzly, come on, let's get on there.
White. I'm the father of
Come on, here. Okay. Now, okay, so, hi, how you doing? I'm Dr. Matthews with the New Black Panther Nation. So, basically what you're saying is that you seen this man under that light shooting those rounds.
I didn't see him shooting.
Uh-huh.
I heard a pop, and I had just gotten in bed, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, so I got out of bed, and I heard da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, it sounded to me like somebody had crashed into a garage door or something. So I looked out my window, and yes, he was standing under the light.
Under the light.
There was a car with its tail lights at the stoplight, and then I could see that he was stopped over here. And he was standing on the,
Wow.
he was standing under the light, and I had to come out here and help you if you need help.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. See, at least somebody, you know. that is
Yeah,
horrible.
we need more good people.
We need more good people who tells the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for this lady. Yes. She said it could have been one of her own, you know, like that was so unnecessary. We can take all the other stuff out and it's like a right versus wrong. Like this is just wrong in so many ways. Why has this person? Yes. Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's look at the vehicle one more time. About 9 shots fired at this vehicle. There's even a bullet in one of these tires. We got people from the neighborhood that came out too. Just neighbors came out. But that's one bullet hole. That's from when he was coming into the cul-de-sac. That's the one shot that was fired. And then underneath this light, when they passed through, there were more shots fired. There were 3 guys in this vehicle, 3 young men. I think 18, 19, 20 years old, around that age. 19, 20, and 20 years old. That's not right. What are your thoughts, Candace?
Just like I said, you know, his complexion is his protection. And, you know, the whole process of handling this investigation was not done right at all because one, when you have something like this, you supposed to do the residue check. You supposed to ask them to bring those weapons out. They were supposed to charge that man. That man was supposed to be charged, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
Because if he was black or Hispanic, he would have been charged.
2 more minutes because I want to grab the bullet holes on the other side of the
I mean, look at this, man. I mean, the evidence is there. The proof is there.
And what if somebody would have got shot randomly too? Like let's say somebody's sleeping in that house or in that bedroom over there. That's just crazy.
Yeah, because I can see if they try to rob his house or something, you know what I mean? Then yeah, you let loose when somebody try to come in your house and try to rob it. But now they're over trying to find a park. They weren't even trying to park in your yard.
Yeah, that's sad.
Accountability needs to be had here, and please don't fail.
Look how close that was. Like, look how close this was. Look at somebody could have been shot. Like really, like look at the.
There goes another shot.
There goes another. There goes another.
Shot right there. You got shots. You got shots right here. Right here, they ricocheted up to, shots that's, you got shots everywhere.
Oh yeah, look, there's another one, friends. Look.
This is something that ricocheted off right here.
Another shot fired. Right there. I know if this was my son, I'd want charges filed on whoever did something like this. I mean, it's about right and wrong is wrong, and they're definitely wrong in this situation. Definitely wrong.
And it was racially motivated because he knew that it was a lot of people of color that had a party down here. And then even the neighbor that's down there, y'all, she said herself that he's really not a good neighbor. And basically, in so many words, in my opinion, she don't like the racist stuff. She don't like it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because she said she has grandkids that are mixed with white and black. They look more black. You know, like people that are white, that's not racist, they don't like other white races. And Mark Harmon, he got to get on top of that with his people, man. Because I'm kind of like, I'm like Cornell on that one. That process was supposed to be done correctly, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? This man complexion was his protection, and that's why we need to see that body cam. We need to see it.
If anybody in the area, what's your message for any neighbors and stuff? Like, if they got camera footage.
If you have camera footage, please reach out to the family so the family can get it, or please send it in to Harris County. Okay. Because this man is out of line. He could have killed them boys.
Yeah.
They weren't going in there.
And what's your message to the people that are trying to justify this man? Because, we got people in the comments. You know how it is, Candace. We got people.
But see, you can't justify it if those young men did not go in and rob this man. You cannot justify that if these young men went in and tried to beat that old man up or whatever. That is not justifiable for you just to drive your car in the yard so you can try to back out to try to find a parking spot. That give you no right to shoot nobody. Yep. So y'all can go and kill that one. So I'm not trying to hear it. Because at the end of the day, it's again, all them young men did was try to park in the yard, back out to try to find a park so they could go to a party. They did not go in there to try to rob that man. They did not go in there to try to beat that man up. So that is not justifiable. Because I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that try to come in my yard, right? And then you backing out, I'm not going to get my pistol out. But when you try to come and invade my privacy and invade my house, then I will let loose on you. And then call the laws and tell them to come pick you up.
Woo.
That part.
All right, folks.
I got to go to the south side.
Okay, friend. I'll see you. All right. Okay. Already. Ooh, my girl Candace. All right, friends. Well, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. It's your girl Grizzy live here in Spring. I think Sugar Valley is the street where we're at. Reporting live here with the Hood News. Back to you, friends.